Hi folks, Pat here. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. On this trip out here on Lake Sawyer, I have two things that I really want to focus on. The first is to be extremely efficient with my presentations, like tossing my lure into the areas where I expect the fish to bite, and if it's a bad cast, try again, and then don't leave it there for an exorbitant amount of time. You know, expect the fish to bite it within a certain period of time and then go right to the next cast. So that's being efficient. The second thing is to be persistent. That I really believe from my research that the fish are going to be up under the docks, and I want to be persistent on that and really run that pattern. Now, if I can do those two things, then the likely outcome will be that I'll catch fish, and that's my season-long goal, is to catch more fish per outing. I wasn't 100% successful with the persistent part, because here I am trolling to get from one section of the lake to another, because that section is typically not very productive. There's just not a lot of cover, and there's not a lot of docks in that section, so I'm just trolling to get from one spot to the next. And, you know, maybe something good will happen.
We got something on. That looks like I snagged a fish. It's a large trout.
Yeah, okay, so that's not the target species, but it was a tug on the line, and I do enjoy that. It was fun to catch a fish. Get out of here. Get the skunk out of the boat.
There's one thing that's super nice about these rubber nets. Let's look at how easy that was to get that out of there. Oh, God.
Okay, I'm back on my persistent efficiency here, hitting the docks, and it's been almost 3 hours of miserable weather and a lot of casting, but I'm sticking with it because I believe that the fish will be under these docks. You know, sometimes there's bite windows where the fish will only bite during a certain period of time, and sometimes they just don't find the right dock. But here I am, I got a fish. It's happened. There was a fish under a dock, and I caught him. And yeah, okay, it's not a very big one, but you know, he's probably 10 inches, and it was a fish, and it was sort of affirmation that there will be fish under these docks. And you know, basically what I'm thinking here is this is sort of post-spawn, and the fish will be just, you know, collecting their wits and hiding in the shadows, and that's what I was expecting, and that's what I got.
Well, I didn't get skunked. It's not exactly a massive fish, but I didn't get skunked. Get out of here. Oh boy.
Now, I kept fishing that same dock because it was a delicious looking dock, and I thought, well, if there's one fish under there, maybe there's more under there. But here I caught a stickfish. Now, I don't mind catching a little fish, but these stickfish, they're not much fun. And there was a line stuck to it and everything. And then I tried to get the line out, and it snapped, and I damn near ran into the dock and bumped it. But I wasn't deterred. You know, I thought this is a really nice dock, so I'm gonna fish the other side. So you know, I pull out and go to the other side. So as I'm pulling into the other side here, I'm looking at that going, man, that looks really good. There's that extra building that hangs out from the bank, and that's a really big dock that's, you know, goes all the way up to the bank, and it's big and dark under there. And when I cast it under there, I made an absolutely perfect cast. Man, I wish I could do that more often. But it skipped up in there like 3 or 4 skips, and I was like, well, that was a really good cast. And so you know, I start to twitch it a couple of times, you know, after I gave it the appropriate amount of time to settle on the bottom, and something didn't feel quite right, and it looked a little weird, and so I started to pull in on it. Man, it got something heavy on there, and I set the hook really hard, and oh, everything started to happen then. That's when that fish started to really fight, and you know, I'm trying to get that fish out from underneath that dock, and the boat is spinning on me because the fish is pulling me around, and I can't get it out from underneath the dock. I think I'm going to lose it here, but you know, I just kept the pressure on as best I could, and eventually she did pull out from the dock and go around the front of the kayak, and then I thought, oh, I'm home free at this point. I should be good, and perfect net job. She jumped right in, and it was perfect.
Oh my goodness.
So I pedal out away from the docks here, so I have some room to work. I won't be bumping into the docks, and I thought maybe I might continue to fish that dock a little bit more, and we'll see. But yeah, I got her out here, so I have some room to get her measured and take a look at her in great detail. And what I noticed immediately is this is a really, really big fish. This is the biggest fish I've ever caught. So you know, this keeps happening to me. I keep catching bigger and bigger fish, which is nice. I hope that trend continues. So I was pretty thrilled at this point, just oogling that fish.
Okay, sweetie.
And then when I started to unhook her, I noticed that, man, she had swallowed the hook, and it was all the way down, you know, around the gut area, and I was terrified that I was going to have problems with this, but I had just watched a YouTube video that showed you how to do this, and if I can find that video, I'll link it again. But basically, if you go up through the gills, it allows you to get a different angle on the hook, and I was able to pop that thing out with no problem whatsoever, and she's none the worse for wear. Yeah, man, I was just so thrilled that I had watched that video because I was able to get this fish unhooked with no problem whatsoever. And I've had fish in the past that you just know aren't going to make it because you weren't able to get the hook out properly. Oh yeah, this is a 20 1/4 inch fish. She was a behemoth. Very, very, very happy to catch this fish. One of the things that I definitely need to work on is how not to chop the top of my head off on my cameras. Well, at least I got the fish in the frame. That's the important part, right? Oh man, I am so thrilled here. Oh, I was like, oh, it did pay off. All that focus and work paid off. So back at it. I'm not going to let that one big fish derail my day of fishing. And yeah, like 2 docks down from that, I caught another fish. So I don't know if this is a bite window, if this area is just okay. It's not much of a fish, but this area is just a better habitat for the bass, or there's something here that they like. But yeah, so this is 3 fish in a row within probably 250 feet. You know, and I don't mind catching those little fish. It's a sign that the fishery's in good health. And yeah, I'm not immune to catching the stickfish either. You know, the last one of these I pulled out of the water was a portent to catching a big fish. So, you know, I wasn't too upset about it. So one of the things I started doing is when I got to these docks like this that were really close to the water and or floating, I switched to a jig on a bait caster because I can cast that pretty accurately. And I dropped this one within an inch or 2 of the edge of the dock. It sank to the bottom, and within seconds this fish had picked it up, and I could feel it pick it up off the ground. And I set the hook. Yeah, and this is the 4th fish in, you know, a real short period of time. So I was really, really excited that I was able to find some productive water and find techniques that I could catch them with. Check this fish out. Unlike the last one, this one's a little bit more acrobatic. She hopped right over the net, or he did, and so did finally end up netting him.
Well, he's not a monster, but he's measurable. Yep, we are going to measure this little devil.
Now, one of the things that my research indicated was that in some cases after the spawn, the male fish will stick with the brood and protect them, and often will, you know, center under docks because it's an easy way to protect the fry. And so I think this probably was a fry garter and probably a male, although I don't know that for 100% certain, but that's my guess. Now, in the past, this 16-inch fish would have been a big deal for me, but the way things are going, I think this fish will get culled before the end of the year in my tournament. Now, the thing that might make this day complete is if I was able to catch a largemouth bass. Last year, I only caught 3 largemouth bass total, and this year I haven't caught that many either, so, you know, it'd be really cool if I could catch a largemouth. But here I am, still using the jig on docks and tossing that under the docks as best I can, or close to the docks. And yeah, I had hoped it would be quite productive, and so far it's caught me at least one fish. This is the last dock in this section of the lake, and moving forward here, there's a rocky point that sticks out. There's some shallow areas in there, but it's mostly cobbly rock, and it always looked really good to me, and I fished it quite a bit, and I very seldom catch anything on it. But I thought, well, what the heck? This is springtime. You know, the fish should be chasing crawfish a bit, so let me toss this jig out there on this rock point and see what I can do with it. Now, I doubt that you can see this on the video, but I'm starting to notice that the line it's moving sideways. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so now you can see why I'm chuckling. This is a largemouth. I actually caught a largemouth too on top of all that. Was really, really thrilled to see this guy. He's not a big fish, and hopefully I'll call him out by the end of the year, but I was thrilled to catch a largemouth. Now, stop. And he's really quite wiggly. He wiggles the whole time like that till I put him down. Yeah, see, Jim, I do rinse off my measuring board every once in a while. I know you don't always believe that, but look, I did. I spent a lot of time in another section of the lake that had spawning beds on it. I could see some really large smallmouth swimming around in that general area, but none of them would bite. And so I gave up on that and hit the docks up again. And sure enough, I caught another smallmouth here. And it's not a very big fish, but it is yet another fish. And back he goes. So I don't know if you guys were keeping track, but that was 6 bass that I caught, 7 fish if you count that trout, and it was all because I did my research, I came up with a strategy and a plan, it turned out to be correct, I executed it with efficiency and tenacity, and caught a lot of fish, which is very nice. They weren't all keepers, but a lot of fish, and sorry for sharing my pasty white legs with you. But that's pretty much all I got, so thanks for stopping by, everyone. Like and subscribe and all that yummy stuff.